Guys, deluded Gooner. Let's review the top club's transfer business. Now, normally I'd give it to you in one vid, make it easier, do it in separate ones. Sorry for the spam. Use those of you that are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Well, I don't know why you're on the channel, to be honest with you. So let's talk about Spurs first. Now, putting myself in a Spurs fan's shoes, if I was going into the summer, I would have thought, okay, maybe sign a centre half. We know Dyer can play there if worse comes to worse. But if something really happens to Toby and Vertonghen, we're in a bit of trouble. Maybe a centre mid with a bit more creativity. Dembele can drive and things like that, but he's not the most expensive. Wanyama, face value, he offers something else. And probably a goal scorer to take the burden off Kane and Dele, really, because if them two don't, yes, Son chipped in and a couple other guys chipped in, but 9 times out of 10, if you're a Spurs fan, you speak to the real Spurs fans, they're the two that they're going to bet their life on if they had to say season in, season out, who's going to make up the goals and things of that nature. And when they're not, it's been a slugfest. Now, like I said, there's a couple other players that chipped in. Personally, I think Spurs did some real good business. Firstly, Davinson Sanchez punched above their weight. I don't want to go over again. You guys have seen my video about it. I mean, I hope to be wrong, and he turns out not to be good. But at the same time, I want him to blow him, and I really like him as a footballer. He's my sort of centre half. He's aggressive. He can chip in with goals. Of course, the goal thing don't matter. I swear, he was captain for Ajax in his first season. He stands up to be counted, and in a young team, he was standing up to be counted. And he's someone I do like. He's aggressive. He's got decent positional sense. He sniffs out danger. He looks like a good player with scope to become even better. And Poch, the way it looks of how he's improved defenders, yeah, you could only say it's going to get better. And either whether that's going to be a long-term gem that stays in that young side and becomes the player that the Spurs fans want, or they sell him on to the bigger clubs for profit, real coup. Aurier for half the price, I believe. It was 25 million from PSG. They sold Walker for 50. Of course, Aurier needs to adapt and things like that. But if you was to look at it right now, who is the better player? I'm going to go with Aurier, to be honest. I don't think much of Walker. Guys, I do rate him as a footballer, but I don't think much. That is decent business, and Spurs could have done a lot worse in terms of replacement for half the money as well. Excellent recruitment. I told Spurs fans, don't worry. You lot always do your business late. They've got the young Forsyth guy. I must admit, I did watch the Under-20 World Cup, but he didn't necessarily catch my eye. Obviously, that's Pochettino's countryman, and I'm sure they had scouts, so they've decided he's good enough. Both of these players with scope to grow, whether the likes of Toby and them key players get sold on, this remains to be seen what happens with the stadium businesses. That isn't necessarily going to happen, but or is someone that pushes them and to keep performing. Because imagine that Toby and Jan Vertonghen now have to look over their shoulders as a young 21-year-old that's going to get chances signed for big money. And if he's playing very well, obviously one of you can't play. Yes, there's scope to play free at the back and play around with formations. But if we look at it just purely from a black and white view without going into tactics, there's that. They signed Llorente. I must admit, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be a bit underwhelmed. Nothing against him. I think he's had something like 33 appearances for Swansea. I checked, and he scored around 15 or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a decent return. He's 31, 32. You could say it's an upgrade on Janssen in the sense that this guy's proven that he can chip in with goals. He's 31, 32, happy to sit on the bench. He knows he's definitely not going to play ahead of Kane. Obviously, there's scope to play 2 forwards, but I don't think that's going to happen. Happy to sit on the bench. I think he signed a 2-year deal or something with an option of, correct me if I'm wrong, he's 31. I would be a bit underwhelmed if I'm a Spurs fan, because I think this was a real big chance. Spurs have had a couple of great seasons now. Champions League football. Were great defensively and all the stats last year. I think this was the real big chance to go and sign and punch above their weight and sign that creme de la creme player. If worse comes to worse, I'm Mahrez, because I look at it, Kane, Dele, Mahrez, imagine that 3 players that could stand up to be counted. 3 players 9 times out of 10 that can have their individual brilliance and things like that. Not just necessarily Mahrez, someone else. I think Spurs really could have went for that this year, because they've been punching above their weight and overperforming for a couple seasons now. You're seeing the best stats, undefeated at home, all that stuff. It could have really been a thing. If I had to give it a mark out of 10, if I was to put myself in a Spurs fan's shoes, I'd say a 6. I'd say a 6 purely because Llorente is decent, but it's not the signing I would have wanted. I felt they could have done better in regards to attacking options, but the defensive options, they've made some quality additions, some real quality additions. There's rumours they're in for Barkley and whatnot. We all saw the nonsense that happened with the Chelsea medical and things, so we'll never know. I mean, we're not the agents, we'll never know, but yeah, man. If I was Spurs, and also a centre mid as well, and you did see rumours that they bidded for Gray. He's not a centre mid, I just thought I'd mention that. I would have taken a more expansive centre mid, and yeah, that probably would have been Barkley. So I'd say 6, maybe 7 out of 10, to be honest, from Spurs. But mainly because of some excellent defensive buys, to be honest. And I'm going to be really excited to see the systems they use and how Pochettino is going to look to play, to be honest with you. But guys, Deluded Goon, I'm signing out. Get in the comments. Am I waffling? Am I being sensible? Get in the comments, man. I'm out.